Okay, so we've worked through the different parts of asking a question, being able to describe the different features of how the dot plot and the box plots look. And now we've come to the part of actually telling the difference to see if one group tends to be larger than the other. So this is where the crunch time to answering your question comes down to. And we're going to talk about how to make that call today. So say we have two box plots, there's going to be a few different scenarios we look at. And the conclusion is either going to be we can see that one group tends to be larger, or we can't tell the difference between the two groups. Now, the way we do that is by looking at the medians. Now, you want to see if the medians are inside the other one's box or outside. So for this one, you can see this one is outside here, and this one is also outside. And if the medians are outside, if one of the medians is outside the other one's box, then we can tell that one group tends to be larger than the other. So let's have a look at a few of our scenarios. So here's the first scenario, using the same graphs that we just used. So in this one, you can see that the middle 50% do not overlap. This middle 50% here and this middle 50% here do not overlap. So we can tell that there is one group tending to be larger than the other. That the boys, in this case, tend to be larger than the girls group because the middle 50% do not overlap. So in this scenario, it shows one group tends to be larger than the other group. The next scenario, I'm not sure if you can see these dotted yellow lines, but the middle 50% overlap in this case. You can see that this blue bit and this blue bit here overlap. But if you actually look at the medians, you can see, yes, this median does fall on the side, but this median here falls outside. And what that shows us is with that median falling outside, we can tell that one group tends to be larger than the other. We can tell that the boys tend to be larger than the girls again. Okay, and then we have this final scenario here. Now in this scenario, you can see the middle 50% is definitely overlap. Look, the blue overlapping here between the two is quite significant. See this blue here and this blue here overlap quite a bit. But you can also see that this median lies in this one's middle 50%, and this median lies in this middle 50%. So in this scenario, we cannot tell the difference between the two groups. Okay, so all we need to be able to tell the difference between the two groups, that one tends to be larger than the other, is to have one of these medians outside of the middle 50%, like we see in this one here. So as soon as one middle median is outside the middle 50%, we can tell that one tends to be larger than the other.